Hi, here we go again. This is the fourth screencast about the functionality of RingDesign. In the previous ones we have covered the setup, rings and host functionality, and today we will talk about the charge and reports functionality. So this is the picture which I have resulting from my previous screencast experience. So I will start playing with it. We go to charge and we will start with charge plus blast holes. The pattern template definition appears. We need to define the name, the burden distance, the distance between the holes that might be charged, the button direction. Options are forward and backward. The direction relative to hole, we will be using the names of the holes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. The button type will be using inside the main as opposed to outside the main. The charge density would be equal to 1. To tell you the truth, the charge density should be something in between the values we have in setup machines. Here is the minimum charge density and maximum charge density. So select something in the middle. Actually, these values you also can define, and it actually depends on the explosives you are using. You usually know the average density of the explosive when you're packing it into the blast hole. You can have the minimum value, the maximum value, and you can specify it here as well. If you specify here something beyond these limits, it would give you an error message. Okay, we will round the uncharged length and round the charged length, and we will be showing the charged part of the blast hole with the red color, and also to specify the pattern definition, because if I charge all the holes at the same distance from the color, I would have very bad results of blasting, because in this area the holes are very dense and the rock would be really smashed into powder, and over here I would have quite big rocks. So what to do? I can charge one hole almost to here, and the other hole I can start charging from here. In this case, the distance between the charges would be this big, and that would be quite okay. So to define this charging pattern, actually helps this form over here. I introduced the multiplier, and it actually is multiplied onto the burden distance, which is actually the distance between the charges, minimum allowable, and then it gives you the value, the length. So let's have a look at how it works. We just need to, after filling this in, we need to apply it, and here we go. That's how it charges. Charges the first one, and the length would be just between this and this. For this hole, this would be between this point. It makes a perpendicular to this line, and over here it makes perpendicular from here to here. That's how it works, and then it repeats again. It goes back and it does the repetition. You can create whatever template you want. The people who are specialized in that, they have their own templates. They're using these multipliers, so it's quite easy for them to use it and to specify it. If I want to do some fine-tuning here, I can do the edit hole. It allows me to select the auto edit, and I can manually change the value and use the value for uncharged distance, say 5. Here we go, the uncharged distance changes to 5. I can delete the chargers, either for a particular hole. For example, I decided not to charge this hole at all. You can select it. That's it. Or I can delete the chargers for all of them. So it removes all the chargers. So if I was playing with it and I've created a complete mess, I can delete all the chargers and then click apply and create the brand new template from the original settings. So that's basically it. That is how it is creating the chargers. The other thing in the charge menu is adding delays. It's very simple. Here you specify the name, the cord length, which would be the length of the cord which you will have to ignite. So it then ignites the explosives inside of the drill hole. So usually there is a 0 delay for certain pair of holes, and then you do a certain delay for the neighboring ones. So let's say I have how many holes I have here, by the way. You can find it out by going here, 10. Okay, good. So I now have delays only for 4. So let's create I know that blasting specialists would probably not agree with me, but for testing purposes it's quite okay. So, but before that I would need to first select 2 blast holes for which I want to apply the delay of 0 seconds. I select them by pressing Shift button and drawing this rectangle, and I would apply. Well, you can hardly see it. I have selected not a very nice way of outputting the annotations, but for these 2 selected holes I have 0. For the next neighboring holes I have 100. Then for 2 holes on every side I have 200, and then I have 300 for the corner blast holes. The same way as for the charged and uncharged length, I can edit the hole. Click on it. It says that the hole delay is 0. I can put 5 milliseconds, and here it is, 5 milliseconds appears. Click on the empty space to cancel the function, and I can also delete delays just the same way. Delete all the holes or delete a delay for a particular hole. Will not be doing it so not to spoil the picture. It works absolutely the same as for the charging. Just cancel it, and that's about it in terms of the functionality of the charge menu. I'll just close it. So now switch annotations off, and we will have a look at the reports functionality. Go to reports, I'll detach it. Whole display. The definition name is RingDesign. We have created it somewhere over here. report. I'm going to send the text for these drill holes to a separate layer, so it would be called report. It doesn't matter that I don't have this layer, it will create it automatically. I'm not going to write report on the current section layer. I'm not going to override the output layer, and I'm not going to display the conventional div as well. So I'm just clicking OK. Nothing happens. Well, it's not nothing happens. It writes to the design file layer, which I don't have on the screen. So I need to go to the layer manager. You see it has created the report layer. I just add it to display layers and click OK. Well, it regenerates all the graphics, so I need to press R on the keyboard, and here we go. I have annotations, but it's a little bit too big, I would say. What can we do? We can change it. We go to whole text, and we can say that I definitely don't want to have a text size bigger than 0.4, for example. And over here I would try to copy it. Yeah, I can. I will simply clear all these things. Copy this, and by pressing the middle mouse button would insert it for all the remaining objects. Man. Sorry, I should have selected the existing spec. So I'll have to repeat it once again. Clear, 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 clear. Okay. 0.4. Sorry. Okay. Here, 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 and here. And we save it. And we can go to whole display. Now I definitely want to override output layer, because I don't need all these giant text objects. And apply. Well, looks a little bit better. Looks a little bit better. Well, those are text objects, so you can move them. The way you want, which you can't do with annotations. And that's the main idea of this function, to actually somehow generate the text which you can edit to prepare your graphics for printout. Okay, that's about whole display thing. Close it. Now some table reports. We have the portrait and landscape. Let's start with portrait. The whole report definition is test report. Once again, it is in setup, whole report, test report, okay, here. Yeah, that's the spec, which was the subject of our first screencast. I'm just showing it in here. Test report, cancel. Okay, let's apply it. I will be writing the report to a separate layer, to portrait. I'll be reporting the whole details and reporting the width of pre-selected. Well, the width of the report will be defined by me, and I'm going to say that it's going to be 60 units. Okay, good. Click OK. It says select the top left corner of the table. Okay. Once again, as far as I was outputting to the design file layer, which is not attached, I need to go to the layer manager. I can see newly created the portrait layer. Edit. Okay. And redraw to get rid of these rudimentary graphics. And we can do the fit, which gives me a nice idea. That's the kind of report you can add to the design file graphics, and which you can further on print out on the platform. Also, the landscape is almost the same. The same report, whole report definition. We'll be putting it to a different layer, landscape. Just the same. The report width units would be 120 as far as its landscape. And I'll move the graphics a little bit. Again, click OK. Define the top left hand corner. The width was defined in the form. And again, I need the layer manager, newly created landscape layer. I add to the display layers and click OK. And I refresh by pressing R on the keyboard and doing the fit thing. I have all this nice data in the report. By playing with the width parameter, I can get these reports look nice here. So that's about the whole table thing. I can also get the blast summary. In the blast summary, I need to specify which drives am I going to use and which domain. Well, I was only working with this drive and this particular domain, so I really don't need statistics for the rest. I can output these statistics to the ASCII file. So I will put the name of the ASCII file here and I will click apply. So it actually does the calculation, kind of statistics. Explosive mass per cubic meter, and the rest of the things, total blast holes. Yeah, it's 19 because I have 10 here and 9 in the previous section. And if I go to edit, I will see the same information but in text file format, so I can print it out if I need or do whatever I want. So that's how blast summary works. Close it. And the last thing that we've got from the reports is section lines, but to play with it we really need to go back from the section view to the normal 3D view. So I go to stepping form. I would remind you, if this thing is absent on your screen, you can easily find it by going to rings, stepping. It brings this menu back. So you can press and finish. Click OK. I don't need these tables anymore, so I can get rid of them by going to Layer Manager, removing the landscape and portrait and probably even report thing. To do the portrait, TF. So you can see the stance of my graphics. Now we can do the section lines. The section lines allows you to input the section spec, or select the section spec, which would be points and axis, which we were using all the time. Design file, we would be using the same test. The layer would be called section lines. I want to create my section lines at the elevation of -130. It can be any elevation you want. And also, what it actually does, it takes all the planes, all the sections, and it creates intersection of all these planes with the horizontal plane located at the selected elevation, in my case -130. But as far as all the planes are in theory infinite, you need to specify in plan view the border for your section lines, because you don't want your section lines to last forever, to be very long. So for this purpose you need the sheet spec. Let's try to create a sheet spec, because normally it does not exist. In my case I have already created the sheet spec test, but I will edit it a little bit. So I'll select the main test, and I use this button, enter a fence from CAD, and it asks me to create the sheet fence. So actually I need to draw a rectangle around the graphics, which I have on the screen. Let's say, and I don't need all these digits, so I'll alt around and I'll click save. Okay. And now we can click apply. Nothing changes again, because again we are outputting to the section lines the layer which is not displayed. Here we have section line, but it's a different layer. So we have section lines here, and here we go. I'll rotate it a little bit. See? So those lines are representing intersections of section planes with horizontal plane located at the elevation -130. So this is about it. Thank you for your time. If you have any questions, you can write to stan.putnev@mincom.com. Thanks. Bye.